Hey, what's up guys? All right, well, if you're watching this video, then congratulations. You are moving on to our first round of test projects, which there are not very many people that will get this far. So I truly mean congratulations. Obviously, we saw something in you already just from your resume and actually more importantly, your written answers. And I do want to communicate that this is a first round of skill project or test project, because this role is not, it's hard to come up with a word to describe the role. We may have said personal assistant or personal support, but really what this is you are going to have a window into my personal life, into my mind, and therefore also into my NOVAEO life, because it's all actually intertwined, with the intention of trying to improve the quality of my life and to make more efficient my life, solely for the purpose of me then being able to invest more headspace into the conceptualization and the creation and the communication of the NOVAEO Vision and Strategy, which is very, very, very expansive. So this role that you are applying for is a ludicrously valuable and important role. We are not looking for someone entry level. We are not looking for a run-of-the-mill personal assistant. We are not looking for someone that just wants to have a remote work lifestyle. We are not looking for someone that is just looking for a job for now. We're looking for someone that is truly committed to the NOVAEO Vision, is through this process and through perhaps watching some of the public content that we already have on me and of NOVAEO, developing an understanding of who I am and gravitates to that and wants to synergize with me. This is not even just a one-way window looking into me and my life and NOVAEO. There will be a pretty strong aspect of me seeing into you as well. Because what we are trying to do is forge a very intimate working, but also casually friendly relationship with each other. And so personality exchange is also very important. And so anyway, there will be a handful of test projects. That's why we are going to make them paid, to make sure that you are compensated for your time and the value that you create. We will give you plenty of feedback along the way, but I would rather you ask questions before you start a test project so that you fully understand everything, rather than just trying to make a best guess and perhaps not doing as well as you otherwise could have. Okay? So let me grab my notes and I will start communicating a couple of those test projects. Oh shit, forgot to communicate something very, very important first. And so we're going to be asking you, if we haven't yet, what your target salary is, your target income rather. And in line with when I talked about how, this is not entry level and all that stuff, first, whoever gets this role, you're still going to be in a bit of a testing phase, because like I said, I'm really looking for someone that I'm going to be working with for really like years and really developing something very valuable and meaningful with. As that time progresses, the amount of value that you can contribute to not just my life, but ultimately all of NOVAEO is very substantial. There's an opportunity to create a massive amount of value in NOVAEO and in my life. And that value will be, basically percentages of that value will be given back to you. That is the NOVAEO way of doing things in general. We are building a holacracy full of what we're calling intrapreneurs, people that invest themselves, being able to get something back from their investment. So definitely different than the normal employer-employee kind of relationship where people are just chasing raises, promotions, and living in a living in a hierarchical work structure. So the trajectory of what this role has to offer in terms of income is very significant, but not just in terms of income, but lifestyle in general. So for example, if you are the perfect person for this role, even beyond what I can conceptualize perfection is at this point in time, then you would be offered opportunities such as traveling. Never forced. If you are not a traveler, if you have family or anything like that, Nothing's forced. But you will definitely be offered the opportunity to travel with me to beautiful places like this, which is Madeira Island in Portugal, or off the coast of Portugal, owned by Portugal. I'm always frequenting Bali, frequenting Mexico, and honestly just always exploring new places. I kind of already have a feeling I'll be setting up a bit of a home in Thailand, and for tax purposes, setting up a home in Puerto Rico as well, which is super beautiful in the Caribbean. And so there will be significant travel opportunities, really just significant opportunities for growth as a person, and both as a human being, holistic wellness growth, but also growth in terms of even just professional endeavors, because basically one of your roles is to learn things on my behalf. I might have something that I want to learn, and I'm basically asking you to go gather that first round of just information absorption so that you can break things down, simplify it, and communicate it back to me. Depending on your skills and your interests, we can even build additional value around the things that you most gravitate towards. So for example, one of the roles is, well, like I said, the research angle. So perhaps I'm going to be asking you to research certain AI tools. Well, if you want, say, this doesn't have to be part of the role, but just say that you have an interest in content development. Well, in your communication back to me, it can be in a way that we could publicize that content and put it into a YouTube channel. And then that could be additional value creation for you. So my point in saying all this is that opportunity is endless. And the way my mind works is, I call it the nebulous cloud or the nebulous blob. It's like, I see growth and opportunity and value potential in all directions. Give me anything and I can create a million ways how to create value. And so with relation to you, this role is one of those things I can create value in tons and tons and tons and tons of directions. So whatever you currently see this role as you're learning from these test projects, as you're learning from the application, understand that you will have a significant involvement so long as you communicate your interest, your passion, and your preferred trajectory to basically be the controller of that. And that's part of the entrepreneur autonomous relationship that the individual has with NOVAEO in all roles, not just this one. Okay, so let me actually go into some of these test project tasks. And yeah, I'm going to try to do a breakdown of a few different categories of stuff so you can try to get kind of a general understanding of the role and the expansiveness of all the different things that you might be asked to do. Okay, number one. This one's pretty easy, actually. And in fact, I already kind of did this, but I could go a little bit deeper. So I mentioned Puerto Rico a second ago. Basically, I have to set up a home base in Puerto Rico for tax purposes. And it's probably not worth me going too deep into the technicalities of that. But basically, I have to make it appear as though Puerto Rico is my home more so than any other place in the world. But because I'm a nomad, that's kind of like, well, I don't really have a home. So we have to do things to make Puerto Rico appear to be more my home than anywhere else. And so one of those things is just keeping my stuff there. And so I'm actually about to head to Puerto Rico early June. So depending on when you're watching this, I might be there already. And I would like to find a storage facility. So something preferably near the airport. And it can be very tiny because as of right now, all I'm really worrying about leaving behind are two like gigantic luggage bags. But even though they're gigantic luggage bags in the world of storage facilities, that would still be very small. So the smallest unit I saw was like 2 meters by 2 meters. Maybe they're smaller. I did not research galore. I spent about like 3.5 minutes looking into what's available just to basically see that there is a lot of stuff available. So basically what we're gonna be looking for is cost, and everything seems to be like they want to online advertise the cost of the first month, and then you have to like request a quote after that. So that's really annoying. So that's going to be something I'm going to leave to you. Let's look at the annual cost. When we're looking at cost, we're going to look at the 12-month leasing cost of the various options that you find. So I do not know if I need climate controlled or not. So let's look for both. 2 meters by 2 meters is plenty. If you find smaller, then cool, but we definitely don't need anything bigger than that. Let's say like a proximity to the airport is probably good because I'd basically be dropping my shit off on the way to the airport, picking it up on my way out of the airport. I haven't yet picked my preferred place in Puerto Rico where I'm going to live most. I did some research. Well, I did some like reconnaissance last year, bouncing around, and checked out like most of the popular spots. The spots that I feel like I most likely will end up in is Isla Verde, which is very close to the airport, Condado. Both of those locations are in Greater San Juan, the capital area. It's like the metropolitan area. Or Luquillo, Luquillo, which is much further away. So I think to be safe, let's just say proximity to the airport is the easiest thing for us to look at. If there's any kind of pickup and delivery service, that would be really awesome. But Puerto Rico doesn't really seem to offer those kinds of amenities in general, which is a little bit frustrating. It's not a very like easy to live place. It's not very convenient, especially by an American standards, but and it is technically owned. I guess it's a colony of the US, subject to change. So anyway, yeah, we'll just look at cost. Let's look at both climate controlled and not. First level is always preferred, but doesn't need to be that way. You don't have to go upstairs or take an elevator or whatever. So yeah, there's really not much to that, but basically you'll need to put everything in a nicely like organized spreadsheet. We use Google Sheets. I know a lot of people like to use Airtable, but when we're looking at like the whole business as a whole, it's easy just to have one spreadsheeting platform, and Google Sheets can outperform Airtable for a lot of stuff that we do. So we use Google Sheets. You don't have to go like super, don't spend so much time like making things like look super pretty, like it's some elaborate presentation, but do a good job of organizing the data and being consistent with apples to apples comparisons between what you're looking at. So don't like show the monthly rate in one for like one cell, but then the annual rate for another in comparison. That kind of stuff, I don't know, gets a little annoying. Yeah, I guess that's really it for the storage facility one. That's an easy one. But that kind of goes into the category of, I would say, like local research, and that's going to be a really common thing whenever I'm nomading and bouncing around. But a much more difficult one, because I'm saying difficult because I looked into this, and again, I only gave it like 10 minutes of research, but it's pretty frustrating, is I really prefer spring water over purified water. I can teach you the science behind that another time. But it's huge, especially when I'm trying to go into a no caffeine phase or a no stimulant phase, which is really how I'm trying to get to be in general. But man, this is so difficult. I love coffee, I love caffeine. But there's a lot more energy that comes from spring water than purified water. And so especially when I'm in that phase, it's even more important to have spring water. And when I'm in Luquillo, which I spelled out earlier, it's really hard to get spring water. There is like one grocery store in Luquillo, but the problem is I don't like to rent a car because cars are like $50, $60 a day. And I'm pretty much only using it every now and then. And then I would have to drive it back to the airport, drop it off. It's just a pain in the ass. And then Uber is not really in Luquillo. If you Google it, it'll say it's not. It's only in Greater San Juan metropolitan area. But in reality, last year, sometimes you can get lucky and find an Uber, but it's like really iffy. And what you don't want to happen is you get to the grocery store in an Uber and then you're like, shit, I can't get home. That's happened to me before, and it's like a 40-minute walk back with like a shit ton of water and stuff, and that just sucks. So looking for a water delivery of spring water is what we're shooting for. And actually, that can go into just food delivery options in general. I did find a pretty good website that seemed like it was created during the pandemic for food delivery, like grocery delivery. But a lot of those stores were, basically the websites were obsolete. They were all down. So I think it was just like a pandemic thing. But curating a small list of basically food options, grocery delivery services into Luquillo would also be really helpful. I try to eat clean. That's subjective. Organic and stuff like that. A mix between, basically it's like meat and produce, not really processed foods. But in Puerto Rico, food's very expensive, and they haven't really adopted a health culture. So really only around Greater San Juan can you even find like organic aisles in a grocery store, which is kind of a pain in the ass. So I do basically sacrifice that a little bit while I'm there, but extra points if you can find healthier options. And then, this would probably be a better round 2 question, but depending on your time availability, if you want to get started on this, looking for a meal delivery service or like a meal prep or personal chef kind of option. Someone that can batch cook meals either at my place or at their place and deliver them. That would be huge. I do like to cook, not like super elaborate, but honestly, the time to prepare food and the time to clean up is time that I could use for other productive things. So if I can find, in anywhere I travel to, I try to find this exact thing. In fact, once you're working with me, we'll have a template of stuff, of research to do anytime I'm going to a new place. But yeah, basically looking for a personal chef or meal prep service. Sometimes it's just like just an individual. Sometimes it's a service. It could be lots of different things. Sometimes it's a restaurant that offers this as part of their functionality. But I'm not sure what you're going to find in Puerto Rico. I'll give you a little tip. Don't just use Google. I think we're going to call this one round 2 because this is more of a complex task. But I'll speak it here just in case you want to get a jump on it. But for finding personal chefs and stuff like that, you usually find them in Facebook groups. So you find the right Facebook groups to go into, you post what you're looking for, you get recommendations from people, or sometimes the person themselves is inside of it. And that's usually the way to go. Or you can look for other community groups too. I'm not sure what Puerto Rico will offer, but there might be Telegram, WhatsApp groups, stuff like that. Sometimes even like Instagram handles for this kind of stuff. But I would imagine Facebook communities is probably going to be the easiest place to find this kind of stuff. So we'll leave it at that for Puerto Rico. So we'll consider that local research. All right. So another one is tech support. So I have so many tech support questions. Like literally, my best friend Derek and business partner, he makes fun of me, and I think he's right. I have some kind of like electromagnetic field around me in which electronics just self-destruct. And I'm not talking about like I drop them and shit. I mean, like literally, I don't know, everything just breaks around me. It's pretty hilarious, but also kind of annoying. So anyway, a good test project is I have a Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra 5G. Getting ridiculous with their names. All right, so S22 Ultra. That's what this is. And really awesome phone, but I have two lemon issues with it. A lemon is basically a defect that happened during the manufacturing. So the reason why I'm not recording on this phone right now, I'm actually recording on a backup phone, my Note 20 Ultra or something, is that I cannot, here actually, let me show you. See if we can give you a little reverse look here. Oh, dirty screen. All right, I don't really have good lighting. Maybe you can see that, maybe you can't. But I'm using a Rode wireless mic. And so it plugs in with a little USB adapter, and then the receiver is sitting on top of the phone on a clip, and then here's the transmitter. My S22 Ultra will not work with any external microphone, wireless or plug-in. It won't at all of them. And when I did some Google Tech troubleshooting, I found that basically it was like a whole big batch of manufactured S22 Ultras have that problem. I'm not sure if Samsung admits the problem or not. Usually if they admit the problem, they have to do a recall. So they're playing this balancing act of like, okay, a recall will cost us money, it hurts our PR, but we won't lose our customers that are unhappy. So businesses have to play a game whenever they have lemons. And another lemon defect that I have on my particular model is my video stabilization. So if I'm shooting video, say I'm like shooting video of here, sometimes the video stabilization is like, I'm like doing a nice smooth, like panoramic shot. The video stabilization is like very shaky and glitchy. And it doesn't matter what app I'm using or anything like that. And again, I did brief research and found that it was a common lemon defect. It's actually a third defect, but I'm blanking on it, so whatever. But basically, I don't think I'm gonna give you a tip, and this might not be accurate, but I don't think that Samsung support is gonna be the go-to spot, because if they're not admitting the issue, then the Samsung support's not going to admit the issue. I'm pretty sure I'm beyond the 1-year warranty, so that's not what we're shooting for either. We want to see what actual people have figured out for a solution, if anything. If I have to get a new phone, I'll just get a new phone. S23's out, maybe I'll just get that. I'm also considering switching to, or getting, maintaining my Android, but maybe also getting an Apple. So those are the two issues, and they are lemon defects, they're manufacturing defects. Don't let Samsung tell you otherwise. I did enough research to figure that out, but I did not get far enough into my research to figure out what the solutions are. So external mics will not work with my phone no matter what, and sometimes the video stabilization gets glitchy. Actually, I'm gonna pause because I know there's another issue, and I may as well ask you to work on that too. Okay, never mind. The other tech support stuff that I had is not to do with my phone. It has to do with Google Fi, so related but different, so we'll skip that. All right, so next subject is shopping research. There's a lot of stuff here. You know, since I am a nomad, I like to have like the absolute best device or whatever for my needs, because I own very little stuff. And I'm very reliant on my stuff for improving quality or really efficiency. So for example, the project that I'm gonna ask you to work on is to find a set of earbuds, high-end earbuds, that the most notable functionality that is hard for me to find is to have very quality noise canceling microphone. Note, I'm talking about the microphone. Usually if you search noise canceling, they're talking about canceling out outside environmental noise for the ear. That is important also, but the function that's really hard to find is the microphone. And the reason is that because in NOVAEO, we communicate a lot through Voxer, which is kind of like WhatsApp, but it's a little bit more, it's a lot more. WhatsApp it can do voice messages, but people tend to text more. Voxer's the opposite. It can do text, but people use it more for voice. And we use that a lot, so recorded voice messages. And so most earbuds, the microphones are like so sensitive that it'll pick up noise into the audio that I actually like might not really even hear that much myself being in my environment. So it's pretty frustrating. I'm actually traveling with 3 different pretty high-end earbuds. I have my, and so these will be the different functions that we're really trying to find if we can find one single really awesome pair, which Derek, who I mentioned before, he just got the newest Apple AirPods, I guess Pros, and they actually seem to work quite well, but I'm still using Android devices, so that's not gonna work for me. But so like I have the Beats Fit Pros, and what I love about these is they are extremely comfortable. I can basically keep them in my ear. I guess I probably shouldn't do that, it's gonna fuck up the microphone. I can keep them in my ear for pretty much ever without getting any kind of like ear fatigue or anything like that. The sound quality is pretty good. Not the best, but pretty good. But that's their #1 feature, is that they just fit in the ear really well. They're light and there's like no ear fatigue. But they have really bad noise canceling for the microphone. They have really bad noise canceling for environmental noise. And the sound quality is tolerable. If that's the best I could get for sound quality, then I would sacrifice everything else. But there is better. So better, the best sound quality I found is actually my Google Pixel Buds Pro, the newest model. But again, the microphone noise canceling is not very good. And I get ear fatigue after probably like 30 to 40 minutes of wearing them. So that's especially bad for like long plane rides, which I'm always on planes. So basically, when I'm on a plane, I'm kind of switching between my Beats and my Google, because you know, eventually I'll get fatigued, so I gotta take out the Googles. Then I throw in the Beats, and as soon as there's like a baby crying or something like that, it's like, fuck, all right, gotta put back in the noise canceling one, the environmental noise canceling ones. So it's kind of annoying flipping between the two. And then last but sort of least is the most expensive ones, the Sony. I don't know why they named it this. It's like Sony WF-1000 2 other letters. Here, let's check my Bluetooth list. Why would you name your product this? Sony WF-1000XM4. When you read reviews online, everyone's saying how amazing these are. Don't trust reviews. They're full of shit. They must have done a massive campaign to get reviews out there and stuff like that. These things suck in just about every possible way, and they're the most expensive. They're super heavy. They're really uncomfortable. The sound quality sucks. And like just having them in your ear, it's like putting like 2 gigantic bricks in your ears. Like it's like your head like goes into your neck because they're so heavy. Not really. But they are by far the best for noise canceling on the microphone. And they're even just kind of like, well, they're not too bad. They're a little bit more bulky in the case too. So yeah, I had to travel with 3 different pairs of earbuds, which is like super ridiculous. So I'd really like to find the one pair. So if you could do research, and again, don't just expect to like read Amazon reviews and think that's going to give it to you. Reviews are pretty much always bullshit. You know, blogs are also, you know, affiliates as well. They're making money by saying what they're saying. That's not to say that if you go through, like blogs would be a good place to go to. But you kind of want to see the same, you want to see different people saying the same stuff and find consistency. It is really the way to go. Reddit's always pretty strong. But yeah, let's see if we can find the one pair to rule them all kind of thing. It might not exist for Android, which, you know, it's frustrating. And honestly for this, like money is no object. For pretty much all my devices, I'll spend whatever because I use them so much that it's just worth it to have quality stuff. If it improves my happiness, happiness equals headspace. The more headspace I have, the more creative I have, the more creative I am. That's where like the multi-million-dollar ideas come from NOVAEO. Or really, honestly, we're working on making NOVAEO a billion-dollar business over the next 10 years. So that's gonna require me to have a lot of headspace. And anything that supports my headspace, which includes quality technology, is gonna be worth the investment. So that is a great example of shopping research, but oh man, do I have a lot more shopping research for you should you get this role. I think I might cut that here for test project number 1. Let me look over my notes of the different stuff I need to ask for and see if there's anything else worth communicating. You don't have to do this, but like, just to give you an idea of like another fun one for Puerto Rico is to get my medicinal marijuana card. But you don't have to do that. That'd be a quick Google search anyway. And I have to like, I know I have to like have a residence there and stuff like that, which I don't have yet. So, but yeah, just to give you an idea, a little bit of my personality and also the kind of like fun projects that you'd be working on a little bit. All right, let me pause again one last time. This is probably enough to get started, but let's double check and make sure there's not anything else. Okay, I do have one more shopping one, tech-oriented shopping. And okay, let's say this. As you produce results, as you finish any one of these tasks, go ahead and send it over to our recruiting team. You don't need to wait to finish everything. And so the lower priority ones would be the food for Puerto Rico. Well, especially trying to find the personal chef, just because that takes more investment. That takes networking into a community like through Facebook group and stuff like that. So that would be lower priority. So do that one last, and then do this next one would also be last. But again, as you finish something, go ahead and send it over to our recruiting team because I will actually get value from this, and I'm going to Puerto Rico very soon. So you know, if I have to buy anything before I need to go, then it'd be great to find out sooner rather than later. Okay, last one is these e-ink tablets. I am using these a lot. So this is do you guys know what that is? So basically, it's kind of like writing on paper, but it's electronic. This is a Remarkable 2. So pretty sweet. I'm trying to limit the amount of time that I work on laptops. So, and I like it a lot, but there are now, I bought this about a year ago. And since then, so many competitors have come out, both big companies and like boutique specialized companies, that it's worth doing another round of research. So basically just building a spreadsheet of all the e-ink tablets out there and what their various like UVPs are, unique value proposition, what makes them unique compared to everything else. Again, I don't care about price with regards to these, but some things I'm missing with this is there's no backlighting. So I have to, and that's a shame, because actually one of the times I most like to work with pen and paper, which this is supposed to be replacing, is when the moon's up, sun's down, and I try not to use lights. So candlelight's awesome, but I don't always have access to that when I'm traveling around. So it really sucks having to turn on a light to work with this. So backlighting would be a great feature. Another one would be if there was, and I think this might have something, I caught an article, but I didn't go deep into it. But for the files to go straight to like G Drive, to a cloud, I think this, you can like manually connect it, each file one at a time, but to actually be like working in a folder, the same folder with my Remarkable as with, you know, my documents on my laptop would be really cool. That'd be sweet if that exists. Color is not that important to me. Like being able to, this is just black and white, like charcoal looking. I don't mean the exterior color. I mean the being able to like change colors, because I'm not doing art, but I guess that I could find some functionality for that if I'm doing like handwritten mind maps and stuff like that. So that could be cool. To be able to infinitely expand the page. This is a new function for the Remarkable. They did a software update, but basically like to basically have like a page that is an infinite size that you can just continually pan forever. And that's also, like, I would like to do a lot more mind mapping on these, but I'm limited because I don't have that infinite size. And so basically, like, you would be able to zoom in infinitely, zoom out infinitely, pan infinitely. That would be huge. This is a little slow. Like, you try to pan it, and it takes a second. So sometimes you pan, and then you think it didn't register the pan, and then you pan again. And then it like catches up and it pans twice. You're like, no, I just wanted one pan. So the seamlessness of functionality. But a cool thing that they came out with this, I'm not gonna buy it yet because I'm not really sure if I'm gonna use it, is they call it the Typefolio. Basically it's a keyboard that basically turns this into a laptop. And the idea there is that when you actually have a laptop that has so much functionality, it also creates a lot of distraction. You have notifications going off, also just the screen, the color, stuff like that. And I've actually found that working from my laptop is creating a lot of stress for me, because there's just so much going on that, yeah, and it's actually starting to hurt my eyes. Actually, it's been hurting my eyes for quite some time. So that's why I'm trying to switch to my work style being more communication to the team through video, through audio, and through using this to get my ideas down, then communication to the team. But the Typefolio was kind of interesting. So I don't know if other brands have something similar to that. Again, I'm not sure if I'm gonna get it. But other than that, I guess really for this, just noting the unique characteristics about each one, or if your research shows like what the weaknesses are and what the strengths are. But again, price is not, you can note the price, why not? But it's not really gonna swing me. If there's one that's $1,500 but is by far the best, which these things are way less than that, so that would be pretty preposterous. But if it has all the functionality, if it's better than everything, I would jump on it because I use it daily, etc. So anyway, this would also be a last task to work on. This is down at the bottom of the barrel. I'm still pretty happy with this overall. Oh man, I always talk so much. Sorry about this. This is another 35-minute video, but part of me doing the video is so that you can start learning me a lot as well. The normal dynamic of me communicating these tasks to you would be I would have everything written out in a Google Doc, not all the detail, just like the bullet point of what the task is. And then I'd be sending you a Voxer audio communicating basically this stuff, giving you the context, the why, any details I've done in my research, stuff like that. I wouldn't normally be communicating via video for these tasks, and also it wouldn't take this long. But I'm intentionally trying to give you as much of my energy as possible, because this isn't just an application process to see if you're a good fit for us. You need to be seeing if I and NOVAEO are a good fit for you, because you need to become and you need to be super happy. If you're not super happy, if you're not super excited, if you're not super passionate for this role, and you know, a lot of people would find it difficult to be passionate about a support role, because you have to be invested in the bigger picture and understand what it is that you're really supporting. So anyway, I'm trying to give you as much of that exposure to me as possible. All right. Anyway, thank you for watching. Look forward to your test project. Reminder just to send stuff over as you finish a task. Go ahead and send it over. We'll start reviewing it. And cool. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for continuing on. If you have any questions, just ask. Bye.